What's going on, good people?
Hey, y'all.
Welcome back to Talking Shit.
And drinking coffee.
It's your boy, Walt P.
And it's your girl, Kels.
And this is another wonderful episode we have prepared for you guys. Make sure you get in that comment section.
Like, subscribe, share. It's
Hit
free.
us up if you want. Look in the description for details on how to get merchandise. Like we said, we have a very wonderful show for you guys prepared today.
Yeah, we got a lot of notes, too.
Yeah, we do. So you might hear some page
Y'all
turning.
just hear some flipping like
Yeah,
in
we
church,
back to our
hymnal.
college days and shit up in here. So the first clip we got for you guys, well,
We're going to
just
just
show it to
show
them.
the clip. Run the
Check
clip.
this out.
Breaking news tonight in a high-profile case. Arrest just announced within the last few hours in connection with the death of 2-year-old Malia Bass.
Christine Noel is live in our newsroom tonight with those details. And Christine, the little girl's mother and the mother's boyfriend are now facing charges tonight.
Chris and Dominique, that is correct. Houston police tweeting that they arrested the pair in the death of the 2-year-old whose body was found back in August. Malia's mother, Sahara Irvin, has been arrested, as well as Irvin's boyfriend, Travion Thompson. They are both charged with injury to a child and tampering with evidence for their roles in the killing of Malia in August. Malia was reported missing out of Southwest Houston back on August 22nd. Her body was found by a jogger the following day. Irvin and Thompson said they left Malia outside to play on the playground while they were inside of their apartment making breakfast. They told police that Malia was gone when they returned. Then on August 23rd, the day that Malia's body was found along Brays Bayou, we interviewed them both. This was their reaction on that day.
I just can't believe she gone. It's my best friend. I'm so sorry, Lena. They should have took me. They should have took me.
This take a little mistake. In a blink of an eye, my baby was gone. And I feel like it's my fault because I wasn't watching her at that park. I was sitting there playing the game.
Travion Thompson is scheduled to appear in probable cause court tonight at 10. So far, no court appearance is set for Irvin. Chris?
Okay. You seen the first clip.
Right. So,
Very unfortunate. You know what? Not fuck unfortunate. Very tragic. Course of events that happened with this beautiful little young baby. R.I.P. to little Malia Bass and her family. You know,
Right.
even though the mother and the boyfriend is being charged with the crime, doesn't mean that they're not human enough to where they can't be offered condolences, even though they ass got arrested.
well, I mean,
and
there's a
charged with this
dad,
shit.
too, somewhere that we're not.
Right, because they just,
he's not the father.
No, he's not the father. This is just the boyfriend.
Right. So,
And-
I mean, I would rather offer him
Yeah.
condolences. The mama can ride.
But
How I feel.
he's been implemented in this, and I'm gonna say this, rightfully fucking so, because first of all, why is a 2-year-old?
Number one issue. Why is the baby? The fact that when they did the interview, the part that disturbed me first was when they were like, we let her play on the playground and we came back and she was gone.
You came back.
A 2-year-old does not know right from wrong. They need guidance. They need to be watched. They're still putting things in their mouth.
Right.
They're still essentially a baby.
Yeah, that's
So why would you leave a 2-year-old unattended at a playground and think it's a good idea, period? They
And-
should have been charged from the beginning for that alone.
And just to give you guys some context behind this story, a month ago,
Yeah, happened
the
in
child
August.
went missing, and the results of yesterday was them being officially charged with.
After findings and evidence
Yeah.
and the body is found, the parents were, well, the mother and the boyfriend.
Yeah,
I
the
don't wanna
mother
say
and the
parents, 'cause I don't
boyfriend.
want y'all to think that's her
But the child
dad.
went missing a month ago. It was a high profile thing. You know, they had the whole community out looking for him. Everybody on 4-wheelers, the whole nine. They got helicopters in the sky. They really were working diligently trying to find this child, because there still was a possibility she was still alive.
But I mean, honestly, 2-year-olds, now don't get me wrong, your kids can get away from you.
Right.
But I mean, I feel like a 2-year-old couldn't get that
somebody would have
far
seen it
in that short of a time.
Yeah.
Yes, because people, if I saw a baby wandering around, I'm gonna be like, hold up, somebody. Like, I might even try to sit with the baby till we can figure something out.
Especially living in it seemed like in that community they were kind of close, you know. Well, and if it's meaning they kind of knew it. Everybody knew everybody. Complex,
usually, right. I mean, me and you've lived in apartment complexes. Even if you don't know everyone, typically. You know a few people here and there. They know what you look like. For now, I live in a neighborhood.
Right.
Everybody knows my dog.
Exactly.
If my dog got out the door and ran away, promise dog would be back home.
Hey, little Mocha, what you doing out here by yourself? Yeah, and that's very true. And my child too. Yeah, so if I gotta believe that, you know, if the child did go missing from the playground, as they stated it. By the way, I am no shape, form, fashion a detective. I'm just stating my opinion, what I think of the situation,
based off what we read and
based off what we researched, and I don't know. Hey, little Malia, what you doing out here?
Where's your mom?
Where you going? Or hey, what you doing? Grabbing that baby, if you know what I'm saying. That's the situation where she was kidnapped.
But if it's somebody you don't know,
right.
or even at the playground, if you see she's unattended and you're out there watching your kids, for instance, I would be like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to watch her. Yeah. Then, because I see they left her.
Or you know, common sense would have said if she went in the house because apparently she went in the house. The boyfriend's playing video games. He ain't studying
shit.
He
ain't been outside at all.
Yeah, and the mama is going in to claiming she went to go make something to eat and to make breakfast.
So why did you even not appoint somebody like, hey, will you watch her? Like, she playing with your kid. Is it cool if I go in here real quick and come back?
I was just about to say that.
Most people are going to say yes, too. Like, we're outside. I ain't got to watch your kid at my house. Yeah. So I'm not.
If they already outside, they going to be like, you watch your own fucking child. Exactly. Nobody's going to do that.
Nobody does that. And then if you get ready to go inside, even, like, I would take your kid back to you. Like, hey, we're getting ready to go in the house. I'm going to just bring her back over here to you.
But case in point, you know, we're two competent, you know, responsible adults, parents. I can't believe either one of us would leave our 2-year-old out there unattended.
I got a 5-year-old. I'm not leaving him outside. I'm just not. Sorry. If he's playing with a group of kids and some of the kids are older, because my cousin has like an 11-year-old, like if they're all outside, that doesn't really bother me.
Because everybody knows.
Because I know they're all gonna stick together. Like they're not gonna get into much of anything. But if it's just him and he's like, I want to go outside and jump on trampoline, can't. Yeah. Can't do it.
Ain't nobody out there to watch.
Nobody's out there to watch you. I have to come. Either I'm got to be prepared to come out with you, or you're gonna have to wait till I can.
Right. Now this other clip we got, we just want to show you guys, give you guys some context of maybe why it led up to arrest. Check this out right here.
Dog on the scene, and as soon as the dog came, the dog passed out. Then the helicopter. Right after that, the helicopter ran out of gas. There was nobody looking. The community did better than what the police did. My baby could have been anywhere at any time. And they have the nerve to get on Facebook and bash me and my girlfriend like we did something. And that's my baby. She know her ABCs. She know her 1, 2, 3. She know her colors. She only 2. She know how to talk. Very well because of us, me and my girl. She was smart. She was growing up to be something.
When was the last time you saw her? Yesterday?
The last time I saw her was with my gal before my gal put her in a park. She came and gave me a hug and told me she loved me. This is her routine every day. My mama could tell you that she loves me. This is her routine to tell me she loves me, hug me. And I sit here and play the game. She come for me, you know, we eat and everything. That's the only reason why my gal came in the house is to fix us something to eat because we haven't ate. So I called her and told her in 5 minutes, it was only 5 minutes, it happened so fast. She was gone. And they don't realize my apartment, the rent lady had a whole operation, a sting on her for sex trafficking. And they let the lady out the side.
So the clip you guys just watched, just to give you some context of what maybe led up to the police department going ahead and saying, hey, these guys probably had something to do with this shit. We got enough evidence to charge this couple.
Or we feel confident taking it to court. Yeah. Right. And my issue with him, he's ranting and raving. He's not making a lot of sense. You can tell he's emotionally charged,
Yeah.
but he more so seems emotionally charged in trying to make himself seem innocent.
Yeah, he's deflecting a lot.
And not really trying to like make himself sad about the little girl missing. And then he had a few things that he said that made me feel like he was trying to kind of pin it on the girlfriend, which granted she is the mom and he's just the boyfriend. But to me, if you live in a house with a woman with a child, you are equally as responsible. If you think there's neglect or anything going on, one, why are you with this person? Who want to be with somebody that don't treat the kids right?
Well, that's, you know, in my experience, when you got two lying motherfuckers, you, because I'm pretty sure we we look at a video with her, she
probably gonna say it was him.
Yeah, it's just like the police get you in that interrogation room, you know,
turn real quick.
Yeah, real quick. They gonna be blaming it on you, and you gonna be blaming it on them. Everybody fucking.
That's why they say commit crimes by yourself.
Do your dirt by your own. Yeah,
Which
exactly.
Not saying this is a crime
that
anybody
this is horrible.
should commit because this is children. But I mean, it's just shady that he wasn't saying that, and now he's trying to kind of put it on her lap. But I mean, you lived with this woman, you laid with this woman, so obviously she was treating her child acceptably to you before.
I'm gonna tell you one thing I have learned just in the course of my life, skills and watching tragedy after tragedy, and these just diabolical motherfuckers doing shit to kids.
Yeah, that's
when you get to fucking with kids and babies, it's not boiled down to race at that point. Them motherfuckers don't like that shit. There was one.
Nobody thinks it's cool.
Nobody, because everybody has kids. You know, most of the time, especially the police, they have kids, and so they look at those kids.
Why do you think Jeffrey Epstein was so scared to go to jail?
Hell yeah.
Even he know, and he's messing with like teenage girls. But in prison, that's not.
That ain't cool at all.
Or funny.
You know what they call you when you get to jail and you been messing with little kids? They got a nickname for them, kids. You know what they call them? Gazelles. Because you in the jungle now.
And a gazelle is
you in the Sahara.
Yeah, gazelle is like low on the food chain.
Yeah, you around all these
far as
lions, and tigers, and bears. Yeah, so motherfucker call you a gazelle because you know
you're food.
Yeah, you food.
You to catch.
So salute to this police. We get a ts&dc salute
Get there.
from us to the PD.
For going in and charging. Honestly, like I said, they had evidence to charge from the beginning. To me, when you say you left your 2-year-old on the playground,
I think they always.
I
think from the jump, because even the advocate, the guy who came in to sort of, represent them. Even he was like, if there even was a kidnapping, I'm gonna send you that clip.
Yeah, well, and I mean, like I said, the story didn't make sense. No. People don't leave a 2-year-old to play by themselves if they care about the 2-year-old.
And you know what they also spoke to, and the police, you know, they had to pay attention just to that fact alone of why would you leave? So now we got to look into the living conditions of this child.
It makes it seem like this is something common. So yeah, like you said, now I need to look into y'all even more thoroughly because y'all obviously aren't doing a great parenting job. But also, it seems to me like you came up with a rush story because the story doesn't make sense. Like I almost would believe more that the 2-year-old opened the door and walked outside.
Yeah,
because kids do that.
It made your forehead wrinkle up real quick. Like
I was watching it and her and I literally frowned. I was like, what?
What that boy talking about?
What in the parenting decisions is this?
Right. And keep in mind, we getting the aftermath of when this first happened
a month or so ago.
A month ago. So we went in with the arrest and then backtracked to, when this thing first happened to get some context to the story. Right. But even if I gotta believe, like I said, we both pretty responsible and we give a fuck about our kids and our family kids. So or kids in general, we just had that sympathy for them. And I gotta believe that we would have seen this and been like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, they don't make it.
These motherfuckers.
Because like I'm saying, like I almost believe, I would believe more that the kid walked out the door because that has actually happened to me and terrified the shit out of me, by the way.
How old?
Like, Trent walked outside.
How old was he?
Probably last year, like 4.
Oh shit!
But he had got his sidewalk chalk, walked on out the front door. I ran outside. He's in the driveway coloring.
Did he
but
hit
I
you
was
with that?
like, bruh.
Hey man, I'll holler at you later.
He like,
I got shit to do.
I was like, nah, friend. I was like, you can't go outside by yourself, like ever. Like I made it very clear. He was like looking at me like, what the hell wrong with you? Yeah. But it scares you.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine being like, oh, bye.
Yeah, just leave them out there to their own devices.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. It didn't add up from the start, which is probably why this arrest happened so soon after, because you brought up Casey Anthony.
I did.
And I don't think she was arrested that quickly. Like, they had to do a lot more.
Yeah, because I think
digging.
she was trying to cover it up for a little minute. I want to say. Yeah, she tried.
I mean,
because she wanted to go to the mall or some shit.
Out.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Did she try to cover it up, or did she cover it up?
Yeah. Which we'll give you guys a segment on just bad parents, because there's a lot of them we can elaborate on.
Yeah, we can go.
Yeah, but today
this particular parent in
so,
general. So
R.I.P. the little
Malia. Hopefully
Bass,
there is
Bass.
justice found. I mean, even if it's not the parents that end up doing it, but I feel like in this
I
case,
hope whoever did
it looks clear cut.
Yeah, something happened. You know, they get the justice that they deserve.
Right.
So our second video clip.
Next topic.
You got it.
Blooper reel.
I know, right? So for our next topic, we're gonna talk about the vice presidential debate.
First and only. Thank God. I'll elaborate on that too.
It wasn't as you know what? Let's show it to him first before we get into
comment.
You guys check this out.
Vice President Mike Pence and California Senator Kamala Harris met Wednesday for their only debate. Unlike the first presidential debate, this one focused mostly on issues and the broad differences between the two tickets on a wide range of topics. The debate began with the coronavirus, which, of course, has spread throughout the White House in recent weeks. Pence defended President Trump's approach.
We were able to see to the delivery of billions of supplies so our doctors and nurses had the resources and support they needed. And we began, really, before the month of February was out, to develop a vaccine and to develop medicines and therapeutics that have been saving lives all along the way. And under President Trump's leadership, Operation Warp Speed, we believe, will have literally tens of millions of doses of a vaccine before the end of this year. The reality is, when you look at the Biden plan, it reads an awful lot like what President Trump and I and our task force have been doing every step of the way.
Harris said it wasn't nearly enough.
Whatever the vice president is claiming the administration has done, clearly it hasn't worked. When you're looking at over 210,000 dead bodies in our country, American lives that have been lost, families that are grieving that loss. And you know, the vice president is the head of the task force and knew on January 28th how serious this was.
Pence and Harris ticked through foreign policy, healthcare, and the Supreme Court, but spent a lot of time on energy policy. Pence repeatedly criticized former Vice President Joe Biden and Harris, saying they want to ban hydraulic fracturing or fracking, a natural gas drilling method used in Pennsylvania and elsewhere.
Senator Harris, you're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. You yourself said on multiple occasions when you were running for president that you would ban fracking. Joe Biden looked at a supporter in the eye and pointed and said, I guarantee that we will abolish fossil fuels.
I will repeat, and the American people know, that Joe Biden will not ban fracking. That is a fact.
Biden is not calling for a full ban on fracking, though he does want to restrict it on public lands, and he's setting a goal of net zero carbon emissions in electricity production in 15 years, and that would drastically reduce fossil fuel sources like natural gas. Harris criticized the Trump administration for ignoring the threat of climate change and repealing environmental regulations. The next presidential debate is scheduled for next Thursday. Scott Detrow, NPR News.
All right.
Okie dokie.
So that wasn't as bad as the first.
I'm gonna just start off and say I do appreciate the decorum. There wasn't a lot of I'm gonna talk over you happening. There was some faces made, which is fair in a debate, to be honest. Because I mean, I don't know if anybody ever did a high school debate or anything, but you tend to make faces at the other side if they make a point that you find to be outlandish. So a lot of people pointed out Kamala wasn't likable. She was making faces. She was wincing. I don't think that's unlikable. I think that's human. And they both acted and conducted themselves in a presidential way, in a professional way.
Pence even kind of gave a salute to Kamala when he was like, congratulations on the nomination.
I didn't get the tension and the vibe that I got from Trump and Biden where it was very clear that they hate each other.
Yeah.
I felt like these two felt like we don't agree on things, but I don't necessarily
but we can tonight
you. Like we're coexisting.
Yeah, because we both didn't picture ourselves in these shoes. Like he said, I didn't picture myself 4 years ago,
correct,
being in this seat. And, so I know what you're going through.
Well, and I mean, I'll say the general public has a hard time separating people from their beliefs and liking the other party. And I think these two made it a little bit more tolerable just to listen to them. They weren't spewing hate at each other.
Yeah, or they wasn't spewing rhetoric. Well, not a lot of rhetoric. Let's say that.
They spun a couple of...
Yeah, there was a little rhetoric.
A couple of facts.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a little rhetoric.
And don't get me wrong, I will say this debate was much more boring than the last one. That's why I said first and only. But you know what?
What if that was the point?
I wanted it to be boring a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm kind of glad.
What if the first one, the point was to, let's put on a show tonight, like WWE
prior to
type
it,
shit.
The debate with Trump and Biden, I posted. I even was like, yeah, this finna be Love and Hip Hop, the presidential special.
WWE
and the
SmackDown.
VP debate, I already felt like it wasn't gonna be that. Like, I've never seen Pence just go like super low with name calling. I never expected that from him because of that. And her, I don't know a lot about her, but from what I've always seen of her, she always carries herself very
poised woman.
Professional.
Yeah, very poised woman.
I would give them both a shout out for being uber professional. Now let's get into some of the things they said though.
Absolutely.
Because that's what they want to know.
That's what they want to know. What the fuck was they talking about? What are they gonna actually do?
And exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go because I know you got some writing. I got some writing.
So Pence, he brought up some questions that we all been asking.
Right.
He brought up that Biden is gonna raise taxes, and Kamala offered a rebuttal.
Refuted that.
Yeah, basically saying that he's only gonna raise taxes if you're in the $400K and above tax
bracket. And I fact checked that, and that's true.
Mm-hmm.
His plan is to raise taxes only for those making over $400,000 a year. He's going to raise it to the high of 39.7. I think it's currently like 37%.
Right.
And he plans to raise some corporation taxes, which is what you heard Trump yelling about in the other one, and you might not have caught it.
He just couldn't get
but
the
he
point.
said taxes are going from 21 to 28, 21 to 28. When he was saying that, he was talking about these corporation taxes. So he did not mean general public taxes.
Yeah, like for me and you, it might not even affect us.
It's not going to
unless the motherfucker get in there, kills, and then he pull a
now, politicians are known for pulling a I said and then I did.
Yeah.
But from what he's saying, and he's continuously said this, so I don't think it'll change.
Mm-hmm.
He's continuously said it. Now, I will bring up something Kamala said untrue about Trump, though. She said Trump's tax cut only benefited the 1%. And that also isn't true. And I don't know that Pence refuted it fully because he got to talking a little bit in circle. So I'm going to just speak it clear.
As they do.
It benefited everyone. There was a little bit of a tax cut for each person at a certain tier. The 1% benefited us slightly more. But Trump did drop taxes for all.
Yeah.
So if you're going in it about taxes, that's going to be a deciding factor for you. It really is going to be up to what you make, honestly.
Yes.
And if you have a corporation.
Now, they did get a little bit into the coronavirus, and they were talking about how Kamala, she didn't agree, and she speaking for Biden also, they did not agree with how Trump handled it, canceling the flights, travel, because in her mind, and this goes along with a lot of things that kind of Biden is standing with when it comes to our dealings with China. I'm thinking they feel like we should invade, and I'm only speaking from what I think they mean by this. But Kamala condemned Trump's canceling of the flights, and basically saying it's about relationships. And I'm quoting this, by the way. I'm not paraphrasing. She said those exact words.
And now
it's about relationships, and Trump don't understand. That's what she said.
Now, Annette, there wasn't a fact check on it, but I kind of agree with her a little bit there, just because I feel like Trump tends to not understand anything going on outside of himself. That's just my take on him.
Okay.
Not saying I like one better than the other.
Right.
I do get that vibe. I will say, though, what was said on that from her that wasn't true. She said Trump called the coronavirus a hoax. So I fact checked this, and then I fact checked the fact check, because I done heard that a lot. You know I don't play.
Fact check the fact check.
Fact check.
Yeah.
And the fact check was right. He didn't ever call the coronavirus a hoax. So a lot of people have brought that up. If you're one of the people that thought he did, he didn't. He actually called the handling of the coronavirus a hoax at one point. Right. But he never said the virus itself was a hoax. And then Pence compared the Democratic handling of H1N1 to the coronavirus. Now, I feel like he went a little left with this, and the fact check did too, because one, they're unrelated, but two, you're comparing the previous administration's handling of a disease to a future administration's handling.
Right.
And Biden doesn't have to do whatever Obama did.
And if we're gonna go there, you know, me personally, I believe that when they dismantled the basically the motherfuckers that research diseases and, you know, stuff that before it get to the point where it's out of hand,
it's a pandemic.
Trump did dismantle that.
Dismantled.
Yeah,
now they said that a lot of those people's jobs were absorbed in other places,
other areas, but
he did take the core organization
because they were specifically
for
focusing
handling
on
the
that
pandemic, and he broke it up and said we don't need this.
So he probably just broke up the main group and just funneled the money into some other shit.
And the fact check mentioned too with H1N1 that it wasn't, even though he mentioned many people being affected and all of this, as many people didn't die. And I don't know if you got, I remember specifically, I was in the military. H1N1 had a vaccine in like a month.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't
they
really.
They gave it to us first,
really,
if you really want to know.
Yeah,
so,
that was what they called an epidemic, not a pandemic.
Exactly. It was a big thing at first. Mm-hmm. Since it was a flu strand, they had an easy time just kind of replicating another vaccine for it, and it was under control. So he said it was going to, if it had gotten on as large of a scale, it didn't even really have the opportunity. So you can't compare the two in this sense because it never was. Right, you're comparing something that was a possibility to something that is.
Right. And speaking of China, I wanted to get into
you brought up China.
Yeah, because
you on that.
Because it was funny to me when he was like, well, Biden was cheerleading for China. Yeah, like, and I was like, what did he mean by that? And then like 2 months ago, if you remember, Biden was doing an interview, and he basically asked him, well, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna get rid of the tariffs? And if you guys, those of you who don't know what we're not saying you don't know what tariffs are, but a tariff is, let me give you guys the proper definition: a tax or duty to be paid on a particular class of imports or exports. And China,
it's like an export fee or an import fee.
And if you guys remember, a couple of years ago, I want to say like 2-3 years ago, Donald Trump basically told China to, hey, fuck you. We tired of allowing you motherfuckers to, we're paying like what, 35% tax or some shit like that. You guys are paying 2%.
It doesn't
that
add
shit
up.
Don't add up. And so a lot of Americans, and I say Americans, had a big problem with that shit. Me personally, being an ex-soldier, once a soldier, always so we soldiers.
You're a soldier.
Of the United States military, and I'm an absolute American. I believe that whatever position we can put ourselves in, as far as dominant,
we should take.
We should fucking take, because,
and you know, that's what a lot of people like about Trump. They say he don't give a fuck about other countries, and I will say a lot of times he doesn't. That is
now
like if you want a strong leader that's gonna just do, then.
Now, I will say, I do agree with Kamala when she was saying that, you know, you do have to have relationships, but you ain't got to suck their dick.
We don't have to bow down.
Yeah, you ain't got to suck their dick.
As a powerhouse country, you don't want to be bowing. But also, I don't know that right now with the pandemic is a good time for us to be like bucking up on people either. So I get where she was coming from with the relations. But again, that just depends on I guess if you're a strategist, how do you feel like our strategy should be? Should we be aggressive? Should we be
Well, Biden
more
said
gentle?
he's going to get rid of I was saying,
Yeah,
2 months
he's getting
ago,
rid of 'em.
Biden did say on national TV he was getting rid of the tariffs. And when they asked him, well, what are you going to do to replace that? Well, yeah, because you got to have a solution. You can't just get rid of some shit and then say, well, we getting rid of that because you just hate this motherfucker and what he did.
Correct.
And he kind of didn't answer. He kind of danced around it a little bit, and then didn't make a declarative statement.
Yeah, they like to do a do-si-do. And speaking of do-si-dos, that brings me to healthcare.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. A lot of do-si-doing and dancing happened here, and as far as Pence goes. And what I will say, him and Trump have both tiptoed through my window on this one. Like, they want to get rid of Obamacare. This is very clear. They have been precise about it. They continuously have said, though, and if you listen like I listen, and then I went back and read the fact checks, because again, I don't just believe what you're saying. They've said research the research. They literally said, we are going to get rid of Obamacare and we're going to replace it with some other option. Now, we've waited months. We don't know what the other option is. I don't know if you operate like me, but I don't like surprises.
Yeah.
After you win, then you're going to hit me with a healthcare whammy.
We've been asking the whole time, what are Biden's policies? And Trump ain't really giving
a lot of
he's
I
saying
want to
something.
Get rid of this. I want to get rid of that, or I want to change this. I want to change that. But nobody's really saying. Now Biden was clear on the tax part.
Yeah, he said he's getting rid of it, but he didn't say what he was going to replace it.
He has not said he's got a replacement for healthcare. He also said, and this may be important to you if you're a parent or a person who is between the ages of 18 to 26. They do plan to remove that. And if you're 18, you'll have to come off your parents' health insurance. To me, I think that's kind of a silly move in a sense of it doesn't really affect them. And it's more the parent's choice. Because just because you can stay on my health care till you're 26 doesn't mean I got to leave your grown ass on my health care.
Right. And doesn't mean they necessarily are,
Exactly.
But if
so why take the option away from
who's
parents who want to do exactly? It's not hurting anyone. So I don't understand the point in tearing that down, except for that you just don't like because Obama did it, and that's silly to me. Also, Kamala had a fact that she said everybody was going to lose pre-existing coverage, and she said it with urgency. Everybody who has a pre-existing condition is going to lose coverage, and you don't want to lose coverage. Okay, church, just chill out. That ain't true.
Calm down.
Calm. She did it with urgency on purpose too. I know these tactics. It wasn't urgent, y'all. It wasn't. If you are on your work plan, not the Obamacare plan, and your plan is through your job or like through TRICARE and through some other benefits, you won't lose your coverage for pre-existing. Only if you are specifically on the Obamacare plan. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing for the people who are on Obamacare. That's probably a terrible thing if you need that health insurance. But she was trying to bring fear to everyone that was unnecessary.
Yeah. Which, like you said,
I don't like that tactic. I don't like that tactic.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel about her stance on abortion? Which Kamala, she
says she's pro-choice.
She's pro-choice. Absolutely.
This isn't a new thing. The Democrats are typically pro-choice. The Republicans are typically pro-life. Yeah. This isn't new. I think that abortion is one of those things that's a gray area, and that's why I find myself to be pro-choice, because I feel like pro-choice. People try to make it that you're for abortion. Yeah. That's not what that means. It just means I mind my fucking business. And honestly, that's one of those things. If it's super uber important to you more than other things, then I guess you vote for that. Yeah. For most people, I feel like it's not even that political. It's more of a personal thing. So it's almost like a religion. I don't like when they bring religion up.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It's now we're talking about the realm of morality.
Right. Yeah, and I don't like when they do that, because it's a tactic too, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely.
A big one. Because me and you even talked about it before the show started. And I'm like, that's more like partner picking. If you pick a partner that like abortion, then you might be in trouble if you don't.
And this is what they do, and it's absolutely embarrassing, being watching this shit when they be like, well, I'm pro-choice. You want to kill babies? Wait
a minute, killer.
That ain't what I said. But that's how they do it.
That's how they do it, and they do it with that urgency of like changing what somebody said. And Pence even brought that up too at one point. He said, "Now you can't take a comment and switch it around." Okay, now all four of y'all got a real bad habit. Of flipping and flopping other people's comments.
And speaking of morality or the realm of, they asked Kamala about the Brianna Taylor. Well, they asked her about the Brianna Taylor
specifically.
Yes, they asked her about this and gave her 2 minutes, and she kind of gave a. I'm gonna let you get that one.
So
I'm gonna let you get that one.
She ain't really say what I needed her to say, and again, I'm not for either candidate. So I don't have to, and even if you are for either candidate, I don't feel like you gotta agree with or like their answer to everything, which seems to be the status quo going on. I feel like she gave a very Mary Poppins, PG, pleasant, marketable, moderate answer. And for me, as a black woman who could easily be Brianna Taylor, and for her as a black woman who could also easily be Brianna Taylor, I didn't feel she was passionate enough. I didn't feel she was angry enough.
Seemed like she wanted to get away from that.
She tried to use very light wording too, because you mentioned how she said Brianna didn't really get justice. Okay, hold up. Brianna didn't get justice. Point blank period.
Where it really come from. And Pence, he said
we already know where he was at.
And he said it outright. He said, basically.
He was going to let the state handle it.
He believes in our system.
He said he was going to let the state take care of it.
Yeah, he said when they offered the evidence and some of it didn't get admitted or whatever, and basically they came to the decision that they did.
Came to and
then he proceeded to kind of chastise her, I want to say. Not chastise her, like sort of lecture her about.
He lectured her.
Yeah, and she got mad about that
didn't
shit.
Look good. And see, that's the thing. That's what I didn't like about her answer.
Yeah.
Because when she gets upset with him, she was sad.
She got upset. She didn't get upset about the Brianna. Like, she didn't.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
See the passion.
She didn't show no passion with the Brianna.
Like, she showed the passion to get sassy with him. Yeah. And I was like, girl, if you
how dare you?
Yeah.
I prosecute. I'm the only one up here.
Right. When they asked about Brianna Taylor, it should have been a
emphasis on that shit.
Because she even emphasized with the pre-existing condition. Like I said, she made it urgent.
Right.
She made Brianna Taylor light, and she didn't really get justice.
Yeah. It was like, let's go on and get past that.
Yeah, and Pence gave the answer I expected. Did I like his answer? Fuck no. I've never liked how him and Trump have talked about it.
A lot of critics, going back to her prosecuting days, a lot of critics agree that she was tough on black people, but not. She was tough on black people, not tough on crime. Like her whole position was to be tough on crime, but it seemed like
it was coming down on black people. Now, and I'm not defending that, but I will say the position she was in, she has to do a job, and black people are arrested at a much higher rate, and with much harder and heftier charges. So some of what was put in front of her. Yeah. It was put in front of her.
Now, I'll tell you what.
It's unfortunate that she had to be in that place. But then again, if she wasn't in that place, she wouldn't be where she is now.
Now, looking into some research, I did see where with the 3-strike rule, like they were saying, like she kind of ahead of her time. She was ahead of her time with that. And they were saying that the 3-strike rule, what she would do is if it was a non-violent crime or kind of like you did some bullshit, but you do have a 3-strike. The 3-strike rule could be applied. You might get the slide.
And she even said that she planned to decriminalize marijuana to help some of these charges, which do fall heavily on our men, ladies, more so than races of other men. So I feel like she has done some things in the past, but I feel like she's kind of in touch with what she's done, and she wants to take a little bit more ownership now. Right. I don't know if that's true. But again, from what she's been saying with that, I feel like she's heard and she doesn't like what she's hearing about herself. So she wants to clean it up. Yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on was the manufacturing jobs. We're almost out of the time on this segment, so I don't want to make it long. But Kamala said, or Pence said that they created 500,000 jobs. And he forgot to mention that they lost 146,000. So that's just the fact that he didn't do math.
You ain't letting him slide.
I ain't because lying. Okay, give the real number. What's 500 minus 146? That's the real number. They created jobs, but it wasn't as many as they could, and it wasn't as many as he said. When Kamala mentioned the job losses brought by the other party, she also did the same thing. She downplayed it and gave a number that was untrue as well. So they both lied.
So they both full of shit.
They both gave the bigger number. I won't even say they lied. They both gave the bigger number and forgot to subtract the other number. Forgot. Convenient.
You know somebody got cussed out for that.
You
know your numbers was wrong.
No, they told them not to tell the whole thing. And shout out to the fly. What's up, shawty?
Yeah, the fly on Pence's head done made.
The third person in the debate.
he done made headlines.
Y'all, he distracted me for a good.
They were eating them up
with
memes this morning.
I am not gonna lie. I saw it and I was like,
all in all, though, I think the debate really showed.
It went how a debate should go.
It kind of gave the parties, the guys who gonna be the presidents. It kind of gave us a little relief that, okay, at least the motherfuckers next to them, no, you didn't feel like a little like somebody got some sense in these.
Name one thing a VP done.
Right, shit. But that's who next to him. And if something does happen to these old motherfuckers, whichever one get in there.
Do you see Carter still rolling around here looking like he died
Jimmy
5 years ago?
Carter.
These people, everybody keeps mentioning their health, and I just want to bring to you all's attention. Neither one of these two men are going to die before they get out of office. It's just not going to happen.
Evil motherfuckers don't die.
They live forever.
Yeah, they don't. That's one thing we have learned. Evil motherfuckers live to like 200 years
Jimmy
old.
Carter's still rolling around here. He looked like he died 5 years ago. These men have access to the best. They have access to money, to health care.
Yeah.
They're not going to, in 4 years, decline that quickly like a typical 77-year-old.
One of them need a new heart, some poor 21-year-old.
And they're not even going to tell us about the transplant either when it happens. They are
Hell
going
no.
to. They're not. So to be hopeful
somebody family get a mysterious check for like $2 million, be like,
whoa. To be hopeful that one of these two will be president instead by default is a big reach, okay? So that's why I'm like, they said things, they did what politicians do, they looked cute doing it, they were professional, but
beat around the business.
I don't.
They made it look good.
I don't think it'll matter. I think they did clean up some of the messes that their
bosses did.
Made.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I'm like, this is how that one was supposed to go, and maybe
it'll make the next one go better. Because I feel like maybe they will look at it and be like, okay, this is how we need y'all to act.
It's like when the kids acting better got more sense than the parents.
I am gonna say I don't have a lot of faith in Trump, and the reason I say
that's what I'm saying. I don't think the next one's gonna be that good
because he gonna act up if he feel like acting up. Period.
Yeah. So that leads us to our last topic. Of this episode.
It's an update topic, guys.
Yeah, we're basically updating on Mr. Price. You guys check this clip out.
On Wednesday, we did not see the interaction between Wolf City officer Sean Lucas and Jonathan Price before Price was shot and killed, but Texas Rangers confirmed it exists. The one-page arrest affidavit released says the entire incident was captured on Lucas's body-worn camera. According to the affidavit, Lucas responded Saturday night to the Quick Check convenience store about a possible fight. Price's family said the 31-year-old had just broken up a fight between two people he did not know. When Lucas arrived, the affidavit says Price approached him, asking, quote, "You doing good?" multiple times while extending his hand in a handshake gesture. Officer Lucas told a Texas Ranger investigator he thought Price was drunk and tried to arrest him. The affidavit says Price responded, "I can't be detained." Officer Lucas then got out a taser, and Price started to walk away. The affidavit says the taser wasn't fully effective, and while being tased, Price walked towards the officer and appeared to reach and grab the end of the taser. The detective says that's when Officer Lucas fired his gun 4 times, striking Price in the upper body.
I think what you're seeing now is, from what we, as opposed to what we've seen in previous years, is now law enforcement's going to arrest the police officer.
Toby Shook is a criminal defense attorney not associated with this case. He says a probable cause affidavit for murder simply shows a killing by intentional act. Price's family has asked for video to be released in this case, something the Hunt County DA's office, as of now, has not done.
You are going to have tremendous public pressure that wants to see the evidence in these cases. Of course, that could taint your jury pool.
A jury that likely won't see all of the evidence, including that body camera video, for several more months. In Dallas, I'm David Goins.
Once again, RIP to Mr. Jonathan Price, and condolences to his family. We just want to give you guys an update on that situation.
Since we did the show and our video came out a little bit after more things happened. So we wanted to give an update that we're not out of touch.
So the officer, Officer Lucas, was arrested for murder.
And abruptly, I would say.
Yes, very fast.
This happened earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
And he's already arrested this week now.
2 days ago.
Y'all know what I say all the time. Y'all probably gonna say it with me. Arrest is not convicted.
True that.
So again,
But I'm guessing.
But since it happened so much more quickly, while evidence is fresh, I'm more hopeful in this case than I've been.
And just like I said before, Kels, I gotta believe the aftermath of the Brianna Taylor incident
we don't
had
need a
something
repeat,
to do. Yeah, I think it had something to do with it. Just the fallout from that, and nobody wants to. That department definitely doesn't. Don't want to see that again.
That's what I was gonna say. Whoever's in charge in Texas is gonna be heavily being watched. They're gonna be.
I gotta believe they called him like, hey.
No, you done booked up now.
Go ahead and go pick him up. Now his lawyer is saying, and we're gonna give you, we know you watched the video, but we're gonna give you a description where we, kind of opinionated on our side of things. But his lawyer is saying that he didn't do anything wrong, but that's his lawyer. He's in his defense. He's
supposed to say.
Yeah, he gotta say shit like that.
I will say though, there were other witnesses, and those people say the same.
Yeah.
The only person really saying he did anything is the police.
Yeah.
They do have body camera footage too, which is awesome.
Which they don't want to release.
And they don't want to release, which also concerns. So the guy was picked up quick. There's body camera footage we can't see, and he's really the only person with the story. And unfortunately, I don't know which, he was the only deputy to arrive at the scene. So by the time other deputies got there, they couldn't say what happened. And honestly, like I said, that could be fortunate or unfortunate. It's unfortunate for Jonathan because if somebody else was there, they might have stopped him.
I'm gonna tell you what's fucked up. And if there's any police officers that are watching this, get in the comment section, correct me if I'm wrong. But Officer Lucas he's 22 years old. He's young. He ain't been on the job
long. He's fresh.
6 months, I want to say. And so you fresh out of training, really.
You should be by the book.
Don't they have don't they have to have another officer with them up until a year or some shit like that?
Well, this is a really small
city
town.
Yeah.
Because I did look, and the population there is very minimal. So they may not have the resources.
10,
it's like 15,000.
So that's
still
a real small town.
And then they may not have the resources to put officers in pairs. You know what I'm saying? And then it was in the daytime.
Yeah.
So a lot of times at night you get 2 officers, but in the day, a lot of times they can handle stuff by themselves. I do think it's kind of good that none were there in a sense that he don't have nobody to lie for him.
Yeah.
There's nobody else to be like, well, I thought he pulled a gun too. Either,
right. Right.
So
I'm gonna say I wanna say this too, Kels, because I've been looking at a lot of comments on Facebook and on some of the YouTube videos. Some of you motherfuckers are disgusting.
I'm disappointed
with saying that.
Us.
Yes,
it's us.
Saying
mostly.
that he deserved it because he was Blue Lives Matter and he was saying basically fuck Black Lives Matter. First of all, he didn't say none of that shit.
That.
He said he didn't support the organization of Black
with
Lives
the police,
Matter.
And he said that he didn't support Black Lives Matter.
And he didn't say he
didn't even say he didn't support.
He said he was close to some.
He said he never in his life been racially profiled.
Right.
Put it that way.
And he said he had a relationship with individual cops.
Correct.
And
he said he couldn't attest to what some people were saying. Now, I do think that is naive in this day and time with it happening so frequently. Because I actually myself, if y'all want to go fact check quotes and things people said, y'all can scroll down my Facebook page from years ago when I was in college. And I said something to the effect that I had not been through this myself, and I thought that people should be more compliant with police.
Really?
I'm ashamed that I said it, but I will, for the sake of not lying, I said it, and I was coming from an entirely different perspective at that point. My dad was a police officer.
True that.
And I knew what he went through as a black police. And I did feel like sometimes it was non-compliance. Now I'm seeing, okay, whether it's non-compliance or compliance, we're getting killed at a much quicker rate. So I changed my stance. So to persecute the man, I'm going to tell y'all, like I tell white people when they say he had a mugshot, you get no perfect victim.
Thank you. You know what I was thinking about?
You don't.
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about the hypocrisy of motherfuckers when they do that, and they you're victim blaming. It's the same as if a motherfucker, if a woman get raped, and you basically saying, well, what she have on at the party?
Right.
Yeah, dressed
well,
that way.
She was drinking, and I seen her talking to him.
That's victim blaming, right?
That's
so
victim
the
blaming.
Same thing when a black man gets killed by a police officer, and the first thing you
didn't like
do,
his stance on politics.
Yeah, and the first thing you do is bring up his fucking criminal record. That's some bullshit. You're victim blaming. You're a fucking hypocrite.
And it's the same with this guy. Now you want to bring up stuff he said, and I even saw one lady in the comments like, well, I ain't gonna bother to defend him since he couldn't bother to defend his own. Doesn't matter. He looks like you. I'm sure if he was still living, he would probably have a bit of a change of heart. If he didn't, so what? Fuck it. He didn't deserve to die. The police didn't know he was feeling the way he was feeling when they shot him, and they didn't care.
Kills motherfuckers is stupid.
Man,
let's
they
just say
anything.
it. Motherfuckers just stupid. Look, a lot of people they don't even. This, you know what's happening these days, and this is with everything. If you have contempt about something that a whole group of people feels like you should automatically, just the thing that happens, and if you stand on the sideline and be like, well, what? Give me some context behind it. You know what led up to that, and this is what motherfuckers do to you. Oh, you a coon.
I mean, just because I want a little bit more knowledge.
Yeah, just because I want to know
some
give me some context. Let me know what's going on that led up to this, because I don't want to just jump in.
I don't like going in anything.
Yeah, I don't want to just jump on the side of everybody else, because everybody might be fucking wrong.
And when I posted about Jonathan's death, I already knew the comments he made about police. That didn't make me feel like it was less unfortunate. It actually made me more sad. For him that he died without the fear that I would have had or you would have had, and he didn't even realize he was in danger. You know what I'm saying? That's sad to me, because he died lonesome and not afraid and on some bullshit, basically.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man. So we're going to keep you guys updated as this thing progresses.
Right.
You know, hopefully Mr. Price does get some justice.
It looks like it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, it's going in the right direction. They did arrest Officer Lucas. I don't know if they took his badge and all that shit. Well, when they arrest you, that's what they do, right?
I mean, if you're an officer and you're arrested, I don't know if he's fired or if he's still on suspension. They didn't make it clear.
Yeah, they didn't. They just said he was arrested.
I will
say.
For
all we know, he's sitting in the house right now.
I don't think he got bonded out.
Oh, okay.
So he's in jail.
You saw these little
granted, we could have had an update.
Yeah, we're gonna give you guys.
So we'll keep up with the story
we'll keep it up.
And keep you posted. Hopefully, we get to see the justice happen this time. Right. That would make me feel like, okay, maybe we're getting somewhere. And stop thinking two wrongs make a right. It doesn't. Wishing death on motherfuckers. And because you don't like something somebody said doesn't mean, just like the way people try to say, well, Kamala Harris ain't black. She didn't want to be a black woman until she was vice president. Okay, Kamala Harris looks like a black woman. Whether she decided today she black or not, I know what she looks like, and she's black to me. Maybe she'll get there later. Same thing for Jonathan Price. Well, he was sympathizing with white people. I don't care. I know what he looks like. He's a black man to me. And he didn't have the chance to have that turn and that change, and that's unfortunate. Well, we're going to get into some black facts with your girl Kels and Kelsey's Corner. Yeah, I got some black facts for y'all today. So, there's two. It's just birthdays today. I tried to find some more stuff with some more content. I really couldn't, but I'll give you, they're nice facts either way. 1941, on this day, Jesse Jackson was born. Everybody feel different ways about Jesse Jackson depending on how old you are. I know I only remember him being like old by the time.
I like Jesse, man.
Yeah, I know he's an activist, a reverend. He was a Democratic hopeful in 1988. So there's a lot of good Black history behind him.
Yeah.
He's with the NAACP. Him and Al Sharpton, they Batman and Robin, whatever.
Yeah.
Then we got in 1837 on today, Powhatan Beatty. It's his birthday as well. You've probably never heard of this person. I knew I haven't.
Powhatan Beatty.
Powhatan. It sounded Indian to me at first. And he kind of have a little Indian look, but he Black. And he was a freed slave. He bought his freedom. He became a soldier. And then after the war, he actually became an actor. So this man done lived 3 whole lives.
Damn.
Yeah, he did a lot to come from slavery to where he got.
Bought his freedom. Became a soldier on purpose.
Yeah, he went to and fought in the war on the not the Confederate, the Union side.
Union side, yeah, naturally.
And
yeah.
of course, I mean,
I don't think he would have bought his freedom.
I my damn freedom. I'm
I'm staying out here for.
I'm staying with them.
Yeah. Fuck that.
And then he became an actor. It was 1837, so they didn't really have much of anything.
Yeah, I'm finna say
there was no television.
I don't think we're gonna look up the movie he played.
But he was a stage actor, so he did do some famous plays. He was most well known for an opera that he was in, and I forgot the name of it. I didn't write it down, y'all. I'm sorry.
Othello, maybe.
Slacking. No, he wasn't.
I just know. Yeah, that's like it's like the only Shakespeare joint.
I think it was a Black play in production that he was in, so it probably had all Black characters.
It was The Wiz before Michael Jackson.
It was not The Wiz.
No.
No.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. If you want merchandise, look in the description to give you the details on how to get some search from us.
Right.
Well, we really enjoyed you guys. Thank you once again for joining us on Talking Shit.
And drinking coffee.
It's your boy Walt P.
And it's your girl.